Jean-Baptiste Alexandre Le Blond was a French architect and garden designer who became the chief architect of Saint Petersburg in 1716. Career in France. He was the son of Jean Le Blond, painter in ordinary to the king, a princelet on the Pont Saint-Michel, Paris, and his wife, Jean Du. He studied architecture with his mother's brother Jean Girard, in the service of Philippe Duc d'Orléans. Jacques-François Blondel implied that he had derived gardening expertise from André Le Notre, finding that Le Blond was one of our architects, who among us most knew how to profit from the precepts of the great master. It must be agreed, however, that in imitating them, it would be suitable to be provided with a certain intelligence indeed. Le Blond was responsible for more than simply the engravings in Désilets d'Argenville's seminal work on the principles of French formal garden design, La Terre et la pratique du jardinage, 1709, according to the well-informed connoisseur Pierre-Jean Mariette, chronicler of French artists. He laid out the structural canvas of the work and oversaw in detail its writing. The work was published anonymously, but in later editions Le Blond was credited with the text. Named Architecte Edouard, he made a set of presentation drawings, dated 1699, for the famous Cascade and Basin with its jet d'eau at Royal St. Cloud, constructed several hotels, particularly as in Paris, notably the Hôtel de Clermont, Rue de Varennes, and the Hôtel de Vendôme, Rue d'Enfer. As theoretician and illustrator of architecture, Le Blond produced the second and third editions of the Cours d'Architecture de Vigneul, translated with commentary by Charles-Augustin d'Arville, which Le Blond illustrated with his own drawings. These works introduced the distinctions between state apartments and private apartments that would characterize French 18th-century planning, and he popularized the small chimney pieces that would take the place of the large ones in the Italian mode, popular in the previous century. He also provided illustrations for L'Histoire de l'Abbaye de Saint-Denis by Michel Félibien. Career in Russia. Le Blond did much in a short time to extend the Le Notre style beyond France. His Cascade at St. Cloud may have convinced Peter the Great. In March 1716, Le Blond accepted the Tsar's invitation to work at St. Petersburg, where he arrived in August. An unprecedented title of Architect General was bestowed upon him, together with a pension of some 5,000 rubles. His position was superior to that of all other architects and builders working in St. Petersburg. Within a short span of his stay there, Le Blond established the first nurseries along the banks of the Neva and about 20 workshops, specializing in carving, sculpture, stucco work, tapestries, and so forth. He also succeeded in introducing a program of illuminating the main streets with oil lanterns, designed by himself. The architect died suddenly of smallpox in 1719. The Tsar himself was present at the funeral, but Le Blond's grave at the St. Samson Cemetery has not survived. Among his Russian projects, probably the best known is an idealistic plan which envisioned Vasilievsky Island as the focus of the new city. Le Blond's plan would have enclosed the entire city within a perfectly elliptical wall of fortifications, with a network of streets at right angles and squares like the royal squares of France. But the project was not approved, nor were his projects for the parterres of the summer garden and a residence for the Tsar at Strelna. 3 centuries passed before Le Blond's design for a formal garden at Strelna was eventually implemented during the reconstruction of the Constantine Palace in 2003. Leblond's main building work in St. Petersburg was a palace of Count Apraxin, although foreign visitors admitted that even a king would have been jealous of such a noble dwelling. The palace was eventually demolished to make room for the Winter Palace, which now occupies the site. Working with Friedrich Braunstein and Niccolò Machetti, the French architect also made many structural changes to the first palace and cascades of Peterhof, for which none of his drawings survive, but which are known through copies made by J. E. Randall, 1739. Principal works of architecture: Hôtel de Vendôme, Rue d'Enfer, 1706–1707, for Antoine de Laporte, Canon of Notre-Dame, backing onto the Jardin du Luxembourg. Work also for Marie and Bourbon. Reconstruction of the Hôtel de Duras, Rue Saint-Augustin, 1708, for Louise Madeleine de la Marque, widow of Henry de Durfort, Duc de Duras. Hôtel de Clermont, 69 Rue de Varennes, 1713, for Jean-Thérèse Pélage d'Albert de Luynes, Marquise de Cessac. House at Meudon, 1714, for Jean-Baptiste d'Albert de Luynes, Comtesse de Verrou. Archbishop's Palace, Auch, Jardins du Canet, near Narbonne. Maison Regnault at Châtillon-sous-Bagnoux. Apraxin Palace, St. Petersburg, 1717–1718. Strelna and Peterhof Parks, 1717–1718.